Let's take a look at Meta, because Meta has been on a wild ride, and they had some action in the courts where they did not win their case. And I think there was two cases where the governments, I think state governments, were saying, hey, you got to do more to keep people from being addicted to social and other things too. So things didn't go their way. The stock really sold off. Now the stock really went up yesterday, 6.67%. And this stock has been under pressure over the past year. It's pretty much back to even. And we're comparing this to some pretty crummy times, right? A year ago, we were dealing with the whole tariff, pressure where they, stocks were dealing with the uncertainty around tariffs. Okay, got it. And so this stock has been a little idle. Now, if you buy this stock at the right time, boy, you are a fan of Meta, and I certainly am, because anybody who bought in this range is feeling the pride of buying a good quality business at the right time. All right, so these guys are pretty solid. I mean, if I show you their revenue growth and so forth, what we opened, and this thing opened up 8% higher. Daryl, do I need another cup of coffee, or am I seeing the numbers correctly here?
I'm seeing mine just updated. I'm up 1.1%. Let me
Maybe my computer. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's a little more sensible. Stock analysis was getting me overly excited there. All right, so this is a big business. We just saw Borg Warner. They're a good business. They're 14 or 16 billion dollars in revenue, which is pretty big. But we're talking $200 billion in revenue. 200, growing by 22%. So they're adding more than $40 billion of revenue to that top line each year. See how we went from 164 to 200, 134 to 164. So they're leaping each year, just making themselves bigger. And when they make themselves bigger, and you got these margins that are just fantastic, 82% top line gross margin, profit margin of 30%. They get to keep 30% of that 40 billion. So it's like they write themselves a check at the end of the year, like, hey, what's our profit, incremental profit this year? Well, 40 times 30%, we got $12 billion of profit that we added to our income statement. And it keeps getting bigger because the top line number keeps getting bigger. That's just a fantastic business. I mean, it's just like, whoa, that's a incredible business. And they have a lot of cash flow. Now, in previous years, it was better, but then they decided, hey, we got to be a player in this AI era. Got to be a player. Can't argue with that. And they are seeing their cash flow go down a bit. I think that's going to be temporary, and they don't have a perfect AI strategy just yet. We'll see how it comes about. But they need a big moment in AI. If they get a big moment in AI, like a open claw moment or a deep seek moment, this stock's going to double fast. But that's just total hypothetical. I don't know that they have something in the works that's going to blow the market away. So this stock is going up 1.38%. It is covered by all kinds of analysts, 40 analysts. They think it's highly discounted. And this year, look at this growth. Look at this growth there, 27%. They're going to go from 200 billion to 255 billion. They're going to grow $55 billion. That's a big business. Okay, that's a big business in the U.S. Globally, that's like, whoa, that's a big business on its own, just the growth. And they're going to have all kinds of profit coming out of their ears. They're going to have too much cash. They don't have enough room to store it. And down the road, they're going to continue to grow. They're going to be a gigantic company. So if these numbers happen and I wake up and Meta has a PE ratio of 11 growing at these rates, I'll be surprised. It should have a PE ratio in the 20s. Okay. This is a superb business. Right now, the market is saying, hey, I'd like to give you a discounted price on this awesome business. That's how I view it. That's how I see this business. Looking at the fundamentals, going, man, I'd love to own this business. I actually own this business. I have a lot of shares of Meta, and I own too much in communication services. So I got to be careful not to overdo it in that sector. But the fundamentals just look fantastic for Meta. And this stock has not been a stock that has been free of naysayers or criticism, obviously, like they just got taken to court. Um, and that criticism sometimes creates opportunity. I think we're in a period of time when it's an opportunity. I'll show my valuation because this is one that's I analyze at least 10 times a year because it's a big position in my portfolio. 51% discount. I agree with the analyst at 46. So this is solid, man. This is as solid as they get. This is clear. It's easy to understand in my book. And they got money coming out of their ears. They got the potential of AI being one more area of opportunity for themselves. So I'm looking forward to seeing your charts because Meta, I think, is gonna be an interesting one for you, Daryl. So tell us what you think of Meta.
Yeah, I'm also a holder. I can tell you what I did here recently on it. I put out a complete video on this one, but I noticed a head and shoulders pattern that actually triggered. So about right here, I sold all of my holding at $598 because I had a price target. Basically, when you see one of these head and shoulders and you create the neckline, you take from the top of the head, not this line. This is just to show where the head is, but the price at the head, measure down to the neckline. And what I did in this case was just draw a vertical line, make a copy of it, and drag it to where the neckline, where it breaks below the neckline.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets me the price target of 528. So it took 2 days, but boy, am I glad that I sold out because I was even on my shares. It wasn't like I had a big gain because I had just started buying back here. So I was about even on my shares and I didn't want to hold them when I saw this pattern form because I had a feeling it would probably go down to here and it almost did it exactly to the dollar. So I bought back here in this big drop and then I added double my position right here. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a good play on my part based on this pattern. And that's why I completely sold out because I was somewhat even on my shares. Um, so they did bounce off, and this also is a support resistance line that we've had here for a while. So we put that line here several months ago, and basically it's connecting these three highs. It passed below it here, but we've had this line here for a long time. So the reason that I point that out is this is a 3-year support resistance line. So when I saw that head and shoulders pattern also drop to that same exact level, then I had a feeling I had a very good high probability that they were going to take a big drop. Now, I had no idea when I reviewed that head and shoulders pattern last Saturday
Mm-hmm.
that they were going to lose two lawsuits the following week. I mean, I had no idea. All I could see was what the price action was telling me, that something was going on that was going to affect their price. What the news was, I had no idea. I found out 3 or 4 days later what the market was preparing for. That's why I watch price action so closely, because this is collectively what the entire market is doing with their money. So I have more faith in that than what's coming out of their mouth 90% of the time. So anyway, that's why I sold and then I bought back in. So I think I'm positive on those shares again, where I was just at really break even. So anyway, we got a downward sloping 50, a downward sloping 200, a 21-day that's downward sloping. We started out with a black candle here this morning, but it looks like we've turned that to a white candle. So they are trading at the high of the day. We've only been trading 9 minutes. They did have good volume yesterday. Looks like 2 or 2.5 times the normal volume. So whenever you see large price differences in the candle here, along with good volume, you know that's a bullish day. We had the day prior was also somewhat bullish. We created a hammer with a long downward tail, so that indicated to me that we were going to have an up day here, and we did. The RSI is back above 40 after being extremely oversold last week. We are getting our PPO line that's starting to move higher. It hasn't crossed the signal line yet. We are starting to get some accumulation back into the stock, so that's good news. We'll see if
Excellent.
they can keep this up.